students, welcome to KD Sir's botany classes. Today's topic is population interactions. Population interactions. Today's topic is population interactions. You know, students, in nature, in an environment, plants, animals, even for that matter microbes, do not live and cannot live in an isolation. These different plants, different animals, and even microbes always interact with each other to form a suitable biological community. Suitable biological community. And these interactions which take place between different animals, different plants, between plants and animals, these are known as basically population interactions. Population interactions may be broadly of two types. Three types, I will say three types. Population interactions may be of three types. Negative interactions, positive interactions, and one more type is neutral interactions. Come to the first one, negative interactions. In negative interactions, out of the two competing interactions, this interaction will be detrimental for both the interacting species. Suppose if there is an interaction between A and B, these are two different plants, these are two different animals, or these are one is plant and one is animal. They show interaction, and this interaction is negative interaction. In this type of interaction, either both A and B will be harmed by this interaction, or at least one is harmed. This is known as negative interaction. In simpler words, if I will tell you what is a negative interaction. Negative interaction is a type of interaction in which out of two interacting species, one is harmed. At least one is harmed. Other may or may not be benefited. This is known as negative interaction. Examples of negative interactions are competition, number one, predation, number two, parasitism, number three, and amensalism. These are four examples of negative interactions. I told you that in negative interactions, out of the two interacting species, one is definitely harmed. And sometimes both of these interacting species can be harmed. Right? Then come to the next one, positive interaction. Positive interaction is that type of interaction in which out of the two competing species, this interaction may be beneficial to both of these interacting species. Suppose A and B are two species. They interact with each other, and their interaction is of positive type. Either both A and B will be benefited, or at least one will be benefited. The other may or may not be harmed. This is positive interaction. Now let us come to the neutral interaction. In neutral interaction, this is an indirect type of interaction, neutral interaction. Because these two interacting species in neutral interaction live side by side, but neither they benefit each other, neither they benefit from this interaction, nor they get harmed by this interaction. Suppose there is an example of rat and rabbit living in a piece of grassland. They show neutral interactions. This is a neutral interaction. There is no effect of rat living in an area where rabbit is also living. Or one more example of neutral interaction is that of frugivorous birds and insectivorous birds. Frugivorous birds are those birds which eat fruits, while as insectivorous birds are those birds which eat insects. And the interaction between frugivorous birds and insectivorous birds is an example of neutral interaction, because in this type of interaction there is neither benefit nor any harm to the interacting species. Okay, these are negative interactions, positive interactions, and neutral interactions. Let us discuss negative interactions first in detail. Negative interactions. Negative interactions. Negative interactions, as I told you, are of four types. Competition. Number one, competition. Number two, predation. Number three, parasitism. Number four, amensalism. Let's come to this first one, competition. Competition. Competition, it is generally believed that competition occurs between two species for a resource which is limited. And the competing species are closely related species. Generally, it is believed that competition occurs between two closely related species for a resource which is limited. For a resource which is limited. Suppose the resource is food or water or minerals. This resource is limited. Two closely related species are plants or animals. Okay, they compete for this resource which is limited. This is known as competition. But this is not entirely true. What is not entirely true? That the competition for a limited resource of food is only between two closely related species. No, this is not true. Because we have seen examples where competition is also between totally unrelated species. Totally unrelated species do show competition. An example of these species, which are totally unrelated species, has been seen in shallow South American lakes. In South America, there are shallow lakes. There are shallow lakes. In these lakes, there is a competition for common resource of food between visiting flamingos and resident fishes. In these lakes there are already fishes, but birds visit these lakes. Those birds are known as flamingos. In these lakes there is a common food, that is zooplankton, which is a food for both flamingos and resident fishes. This is an example where there is competition between two totally unrelated species. The two unrelated species are visiting flamingos and the resident fishes. Resident fishes are those fishes which are already residing in these lakes. And these both flamingos, visiting flamingos, and resident fishes compete for Now, the common resource of food, that is zooplankton in these lakes. Okay? So, we may say that competition can be between closely related species or even between totally unrelated species. Okay? Now, there is also general belief that competition is always for a resource which is limited. No. This competition can also be for a resource which can be abundant, but still there is competition. Suppose there is food, this is food, this is a resource. Okay, this is present in abundance. But this abundant food, there is also competition for this abundant food also between two species. Why? Because one species interferes and prohibits the presence of other species. That species wants to take much of this food. So, we say this is known as interference competition. What is interference competition? Interference competition is when there is competition between two species for a resource which is abundantly present in the area, which is present in abundance in the area. So the 2 points which I told you, that competition can be between closely related species and totally unrelated species. One. Number two, the competition can be for a limited resource and for a resource which is present in abundance. When there is competition for a resource which is present in abundance, that is known as interference competition. Because one species tries to interfere and inhibit the presence of other species. This is known as interference competition. Hence, in the context of these different definitions of competition, we can define competition as a process in which the fitness of one species. Here I can say competition can be defined as a process in which fitness of one species is lowered significantly by the presence of other species. This is the definition of competition. Competition is defined as the process by which the fitness of one species is significantly lowered by the presence of another species. This is the definition of competition. What is fitness? In ecology, we say that fitness is the ability of an organism to reach to the reproductive maturity. One. Number two, how many young ones an organism is able to produce. Suppose we have a hen. Hen has 10 offspring. That is as compared to cow. There is one single cow, young one of a cow. If we compare cow and hen, we say that this hen has more hybrid vigor. This hen is reproductively superior than to the cow. So this fitness is the number of individual offsprings, the ability to reach to the reproductive maturity. This is fitness. So once again, I will tell you the definition of competition. Competition is defined as the process of is defined as the process in which fitness of one organism is lowered significantly in presence of another organism. Let's now discuss the examples of competition. Let's now discuss the examples of competition. There are many examples of competition. One common example is competitive exclusion. Competitive exclusion. This is one example of competition. Competitive exclusion. Number two example, competitive coexistence. Competitive coexistence. These are two main examples of competition. Competitive exclusion, competitive coexistence. Now come to the first one, competitive exclusion. Competitive exclusion. Competitive exclusion is defined as the process in which two closely related organisms or species cannot live together permanently in the same area. Suppose A and B, these are two closely related species of organisms, right? These cannot live permanently in an area because they have the same requirement of food. Out of the two, one has to be eliminated. Which one? Which is inferior, competitively inferior one, has to be eliminated. This is known as competitive exclusion. I will tell you once again, the competitive exclusion is defined as the process in which two closely related species cannot grow indefinitely in the same area because these two species have same requirements. They need same food, same food they need. So this is known as competitive exclusion. Examples of competitive exclusion are, number one, Gauss's principle. Gauss's principle. Gauss's principle. In 1934, Gauss gave a principle that's known as Gauss's principle. According to this principle, two closely related species cannot live together in the same area if these two closely related species have similar requirements, take same food. This is known as Gauss's principle. Gauss performed an experiment to prove his principle. He grew two species of Paramecium, Paramecium caudatum and Paramecium aurelia, in the same culture. He grew two species of Paramecium, Paramecium caudatum and Paramecium aurelia, Aurelia, Paramecium aurelia, in the same culture. And both of them grew for 16 days. And after 16 days, out of the two, one was eliminated. Paramecium caudatum was eliminated. And only P. aurelia was seen in the culture. This phenomenon was described as competitive exclusion by Harding. Harding was another, a scientist. He described this in 1964. He described this phenomenon as a competitive exclusion. Competitive exclusion. Thank you, students. Tomorrow I will tell you in next week.